Hello and welcome to Balanced Existence. Today is day 24 of our 31-day series that I am recording in December 2025. But of course, whenever you're finding this, I trust that there's a message here for you. So as always, we're going to start with the Oracle and Astrology card to give the overarching themes before we get into the tarot. And this reading is all about recalibrating your energy and getting you on your highest timeline. So feel free to set any intentions or ask any questions you might have about any topic of life, any area of life that you are wanting to specifically focus on and receive guidance in. Okay, so our oracle card is Clarity. It says, banish the fog of illusion. Open your eyes to the truth. Remember the perfection of who you are. And then for our astrology card, we have the sun, which is so fitting. So the sun, of course, is the planet of illumination, of having clarity, drive, willpower. It's like your identity, being able to see something clearly. And so these cards really go hand in hand. This is about seeing something for what it is and getting organized in our perspective. So things that may have previously felt heavy or foggy are now becoming clear and organized, and questions or unknowns or areas of confusion are now receiving answers. And this is a very natural process you're on, I'm feeling. You know, your nervous system has been becoming more and more regulated as you've been doing all of this inner work. And your angels and guides really want you to take a moment and really recognize, and not just of the mind, but really in an embodied way in your heart and soul, recognize how much work you've done and how far you've come, because you truly have overcome so many karmic patterns, and I'm hearing ancestral blockages and unhealthy patterns and attachments. You really are like a light in your lineage, like your ancestral lineage. And I know this is a really specific message I'm tapping into, but I feel like it needs to be said and it needs to be known internally for you how much you've done and how far you've come, so you can recognize and, you know, allow this sense of empowerment to continue to spiral you upwards. Like, just remember how powerful you are, how far you've come. And as you've been getting your nervous system more regulated and really becoming self-aware on levels that you never even knew you could, like more and more depth. I mean, I'm just feeling you're such a transformational person. If you're part of this collective, you may feel like the year before you were a completely different person, or even like months before, even like on a weekly and daily basis, you feel like so much growth and transformation and an evolution. This truly is the evolution of your soul. Like, I'm hearing your soul has never evolved so quickly within a single lifetime. So this is like a first for your soul. This is the first time you've experienced and endured so much evolution in this body, on this earth, in this lifetime. So with the sun coming through, I'm getting that this is you. I mean, you are quite a light, you know, in terms of your soul itself, as well as in the grand scheme of your lineage and of the generations to come. And so right now with the clarity card coming through, your light is so infinite. Like, you are so tapped into source energy because of all of the work you've been doing. And the nervous system came up because I feel like because you've regulated your nervous system, or, you know, you continue to partake in practices that allow you to maintain and sustain a regulated nervous system, and you have learned to quiet the chatter of your mind so that you can maintain a state of inner peace. I know meditation for many of the collective is a crucial key practice, like a crucial part of your routine, like as crucial as showering or brushing your teeth every day. Like it's something that is just a necessary key part of your spiritual hygiene. And so because you've done all this work and you have achieved such inner peace and harmony and the ability to tap into your soul's essence and your connection to source energy, you are stepping into such clarity in your visions. Like the energy around you is so clear, and not just in the sense of it being not foggy, but it's like pure and like it's like detoxed in a way. So things that in the past you were just so not clear on, or you didn't know maybe what actions to take or anything like that, like you are able to tap into the truth of things and really see things for what they are. And that's what's helping you to make aligned decisions on your path. So, okay, let's jump into the tarot cards. We have the Four of Swords. So I'm definitely picking up on this message of allowing yourself that time to rest, right? Allowing sleep, even allowing yourself to daydream or do nothing at times, you know, and then of course prioritizing that time to meditate, like all of the things that calm your body down, calm your nervous system down. It's so fitting that this card is coming up because this is about really partaking in those practices of self-care, self-love that are going to lower like intensity, right? And through that process, you know, rejuvenate your energy. And this is also a reminder of the stillness that is often required before we move forward, especially as we're stepping into higher timelines and seeing things clearly. It is necessary at times to take that pause and reflect and process before moving forward. And you are becoming, with the Sun and the Clarity card, you are becoming so proficient at knowing and discerning when it's time to rest and when it's time to move forward. I've talked in previous videos about the seasons of life, the seasons, of course, the seasons of the year, spring, summer, fall, and winter. But even right now, I'm recording this in winter, and within that 3-month season, you may have periods of taking action. You may have periods of rest and reflection, which would be, of course, representative of summer versus winter, right? Like, and even within a month, especially if you're a woman who has a menstrual cycle, like each phase of the menstrual cycle can be compared to the seasons, and you are learning how to listen to your body, listen to your soul, feel where you're at, and take action accordingly. So, and it's also about having the boundaries, having the self-confidence and self-esteem to stand up for those boundaries when needed. When you know that rest is required, you know how to say no to things that you just simply don't have the energetic bandwidth for. And so this is pulling you out of survival mode because you're allowing yourself that time to rest. And this is so grounding because the sun's energy can be really illuminating and ready for action and driven. And the Four of Swords is coming up to balance you so that you don't burn out. And you know what action to take. You know when to rest. You know when to pause and integrate. And you know that when you are paused, you're not losing momentum. You're not lacking in productivity. You know that it's necessary as part of your journey. We also have the Six of Pentacles, and this is also so in line because this talks about when to give, when to take, right? Like this is all about your balance of giving and receiving. I'm also picking up on Libra energy, of course, with the themes of balance. That could be your sun, moon, or rising. And if it is, I would really lean into that archetype and embrace this journey of learning to balance. Potentially, maybe you've dealt with having people-pleasing tendencies or just feeling like you give too much. And so this is about, on an energetic level, having that self-awareness to know what is taking your energy and what is fueling or feeding into your energy reserves. So, for example, if you have an event to go to and you're going to be socializing or networking with people, you're going to be learning a lot. On one end, there is an energetic input in the sense that you gain a lot from that event. You learn, you feel connected with your community. There's a sense of fulfillment. There's a incoming knowledge that you're receiving. Like it's a beneficial experience and it fulfills you or feeds you with something. But on the other end, you are required to socialize. Maybe you're required to travel. It could be really long days. And so like on a physical level, there's an energetic output. And then maybe even on a social level, especially if you're very introverted, going to a networking event may very well be worthwhile, like a greater overall input than output. But there is a cost, let's say, of the social aspect, like the energetic output that you must give to network and socialize, and that can be very like draining, again, especially if you're an introvert, right? So everything in life that you do is working on an energetic level of input and output. And so how much of the events in your life or the actions you take on a day-to-day are balanced in terms of the input and output? Another example could be like doing a workout. Obviously, when you work out, it releases dopamine, you feel good after. That is an input. But of course, a workout takes physical energy. There's an energy expenditure, so there is an output, right? So it's a give and take. And so in everything you do, there is some form of input and output, right? And so the Six of Pentacles is coming up because it's wanting you to shed light on and obtain clarity in how your actions are, draining or fueling you. And without any judgment, just reflecting on, what costs energy and what gives you energy, and recalibrating as needed. So this is also preventing you from experiencing resentment. Like if you're somebody who in the past had a tendency to people please, or maybe in the present, if this is the journey that you're on right now, if you've people pleased to the point of then later feeling resentment, the Six of Pentacles is showing up to encourage you to really focus on this in your self-development, self-growth, self-transformational journey here. Really tap into what's the input, what's an energetic output. And then allow your boundaries to naturally adjust by, again, taking into account the Four of Swords, knowing when you need to rest, and based on the Four of Swords and your needs, using that to dictate and determine when you're able to give and when you need to, receive or, stop giving and rest instead, let's say. And this is that beautiful flow that we are getting super clear on at this part of our journey. We also have the Ace of Swords coming up. So again, this is mental clarity. This is you with the Sun and the Clarity card. I mean, the Ace of Swords is so fitting. This is you shining light, obtaining truth, having a breakthrough, a new understanding or a perspective on something. It could also be a new communication coming in if you're balancing your input and outputs, and in the context of your relationships with friends or romantic or family. This is you reaching some kind of truth, reaching some kind of productive communication where you're able to align on your boundaries and your needs in the context of your like interpersonal relationship dynamics. But even if it's not an external manifestation of the Ace of Swords, on an internal level, this is about becoming decisive. It could even just be like a thought, an idea, an internal knowing. It's you becoming clear on the truth. And we have the Queen of Wands coming out. So we've definitely received this card before. Even the Ace of Swords we received a couple days ago. But with the Queen of Wands, this is the divine feminine, fiery, confident, creative embodiment of authentic self-expression. She has such a magnetic presence. It's so connected to the Sun and Clarity card because it's somebody who knows their truth. And I mean, the Sun and the Queen of Wands, both, that fiery energy. And it doesn't have to be like a literally fiery energy, but the fire element represents creativity. And with the Ace of Swords here representing our ideas, I mean, this is you in a real creative flow state and that's aligned with your inner truth. This is a beautiful energy with these cards working together. This is a divine feminine that has an abundance of self-trust. She trusts herself to have the discernment and to enforce her boundaries as needed. She has the self-esteem, the self-confidence to navigate life in a way that's going to be in alignment with her needs. The Six of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands together is such a grounded and self-assured energy of, I know what I can give. I know when I need to receive. It's real self-knowing. And it allows you to attract relationships that are aligned and healthy and nurturing for you as well. We also have the Six of Swords. And yeah, we've gotten this card several times. This is a really resonating card for the collective at this time. This is us moving away from turbulent times, turbulent waters. And with the Ace of Swords here, this could be some kind of mental anxiety that you're allowing your inner light, which is the light that connects you with source energy, right? With the Sun and the Queen of Wands, like that inner light and radiance to wash away the anxiety and the worries that don't serve you and simply cannot come with you to the next part of your journey, the next timeline. And so the Six of Swords is all about making that conscious choice and taking the actions needed to move on, to move away from the difficult environment or situations and to move towards peace. And you're doing this in such an optimistic way with the Sun card, and you have such a manifestation mindset that it's like nothing can stop you here. We're also getting the Knight of Pentacles card, so this is also about slow, steady progress. So as you're enduring this Six of Swords journey and utilizing the Ace of Swords breakthroughs to, assess and reflect on your, Six of Pentacles balancing of give and take, it's okay to do so in a slow and steady way. The Knight of Pentacles is someone who has a long-term commitment. So you do have this commitment to your spiritual path, to your self-development, your growth, your lifelong learning on this journey of transformation. And I feel like this is such a beautiful full circle card as it relates to the Four of Swords, because the Knight of Pentacles knows that good things take time. And similarly, the Four of Swords, the first tarot card we got, is about taking that time to rest when needed. There's no urgency, there's no rush, the process is exactly in the timing that it is needing to be at right now. And with the Sun and the Clarity card as our overarching themes, you know this. And you are really able to, like we talked about in a previous reading, loosen the grip on life and just flow through it like it's like surfing a wave, right? Like you're not fighting it, you're just allowing the wave to take you where you're meant to go. And this is such a beautiful energy to be in, because this is also the energy that allows us to manifest with such beautiful, magical power. And so it's such a pivotal time of your journey, because you're reaching this alignment that you've never reached before in this lifetime or others or previous lifetimes. And so you know that you can trust in this movement that you're making, in this inner work that you're doing, and that it's sustainable, and that with time you'll start to see pivotal and major significant outcomes and breakthroughs in your external reality, your external environment, in due time. But what you're building now is going to last, and you wouldn't want it any other way. And you know this, you have this sense of clarity now. So this is like a beautiful checkpoint on this journey of just a confirmation for this collective that you know when to rest, you know when to take action, you know when to give and take, you know how to enforce your boundaries and your needs. You have this magnetic aura that's going to attract community and friendships, and maybe romantic, if that's what you're seeking or looking for. You know that you have this magnetic aura to attract in due time the right soul tribe for you. And you're moving forward steadily, and you're exactly on time. So this is what I have for you today. I hope that something resonated. As always, I would love to hear from you in the comments, especially as we're just building this community. And I would love to have you subscribe if you'd like to stick around with the rest of the series, and more to come in the new year. So thank you so much for listening, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.